Welcome to the Kindness Project, the podcast designed to share stories of kindness and share how kindness can make positive change in our world, one small act at a time.
This week on the Kindness Project, we talk about unusual greetings, nicknames, and part one of our interview with Jo and Nick. Welcome to the Kindness Project.
Is this my turn to say something?
Yeah, I want you to go with your introduction first.
Oh, you want to do mine first? I'm joined by a girl whose favourite current greeting is, "Evening, ladies, it's Charlotte Dames."
And I'm joined by a man who lives to grab opportunity by its tail. It's Chris Tames.
Right, we have both got the same surname. Dames, you've had it for 15 years, nearly 16 years, and you've just called me Chris Tames. Where did that come from?
I was thinking about the word tail because it sounded kind of weird in that sentence, and then I was thinking about the surname and it all just merged.
I like grabbing an opportunity by the tail and just swinging it around the room. What made you pick a towel?
I don't know, it just seemed to fit at the time when I was writing these. I was writing these at 10 o'clock at night, but that's not the point.
Yeah, because my name is Chris Tames, clearly. And you've got, I still remember the day when I first heard you say, I still remember the day like it was years ago, it was only a couple of weeks ago.
Evening, ladies.
Where you walked into a pub that me and Mummy were sitting, and it was 11 o'clock in the morning because I had just been to the gym and was having a coffee before I had to go back to the gym, and you just walked in loud as you like and just went, "Evening, ladies."
Well, I'm trying to be unconventional and say the wrong time of the day.
I know, but you said do you say evening, ladies in the evening when you're talking to ladies, or is it morning, fellas?
No, I just randomly yell the wrong one because it just seems funnier.
It is.
Just
it's funny.
11 o'clock in the morning, evening, ladies. You know, 5 at night, morning.
You know what? I love people who come in and just go, "Morning."
Morning.
Like just a really cheerful hello makes the day start better. As opposed to,
"Hi."
All right.
You alright?
Yeah.
You okay? You doing good?
Yeah.
How you coping?
Surviving. I hate people who say that. How you doing? I'm surviving. Well, surely that's not your aspiration, just to survive. Yeah. How you doing?
See, I'm one of those people. People are like, if someone sees me and I'm tired, and they just come along and they try and cheer me up and they're like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "I'll survive. Yeah. I'll live. Yeah. You don't have to be so worried. I'll live."
We all go through that sort of stage where we have days where we're not feeling it, right? Yeah. We all have days where we're not feeling it. But people who every time you ask them, "How you doing?" "Surviving." Christ, do something with your life, mate. Because surviving.
Oh, your hopes and dreams sound so high and aspirational.
Surviving isn't the aspiration.
Living's the aspiration. See, because people don't see the difference between living and surviving, do they? Surviving is actually like having your heart beat in your chest and the breath circulating around your body, but living is something you can aspire to.
Living is when your heart beats fast and you're short of breath because you're living and loving life. I don't know. What has this turned into? I don't know.
Science.
Anyway, today's question of the podcast is based on your greeting of "Evening, ladies."
Evening, ladies.
It's what's the most unusual way you've ever been greeted? So I know you greet in an unusual way. Have you ever been greeted in an unusual way?
I don't know. Got a pretty wacky bunch of friends.
Yeah, go on. Who's the wackiest?
I don't know. I think the weirdest way I've ever been greeted was a tackling cuddle.
A tackling cuddle? Did they tackle you to the floor?
No.
Who gave you a tackling cuddle?
Multiple people.
Multiple people at the same time?
No, at different occasions.
Okay, so who's the best tackler?
I don't know. No one's ever taken me to the floor.
Right.
So I think I've got some decent legs.
Okay, fair enough.
Not in the way they look, their strength.
Yeah, strong legs.
I've got strong legs.
Yeah, don't try and tackle me to the floor because my legs will take the pain. Okay, so the weirdest way Charlotte's ever been greeted is via a tackle and cuddle. But we want to hear your answers.
What about you, mate?
Oh, I don't know, probably evening ladies, to be honest. That's probably the strangest way. When I was at school, people used to shout across the either the classroom or down the hallway or in the playground, Tamsin! Like that, just to get my attention. But now you've changed my name to Tamsy. Maybe they should shout that, Tamsy! I don't know.
It wouldn't be. If your name's Thames, you just yell Tamer.
Tamer?
Yep.
That's not a nickname.
Yep,
Tamer.
it is.
You're right. You wouldn't shorten Dames to Damer, would you?
No, I wasn't shortening it. It's a nickname.
Nicknames are meant to be shorter.
No.
What are you talking about?
No.
Right, what's your nickname?
I don't have a nickname. People find it difficult to abbreviate my name.
Yeah, exactly. Because nicknames are abbreviations.
So people just call me Mum.
Yeah, exactly. What's longer, Charlotte or Mum?
Mum, it has more meaning.
Don't try and play that game with me. Just let our listeners know where they can get involved with the podcast.
Well, you see, I'm trying to remember. So you can give me at Ola Kindness. That's on the Twitter thingy with the little blue bird. It's very adorable. And then the Facebook thingy, you just go to search Kindness Project in the magical search bar thingy.
Or you go www.facebook.com/holakindness.
No one's got time for that.
What do you mean? in the day of shortened attention span, you haven't even got time to type in.
No one's got time to memorise that whole thing. So you just go to Facebook and you put in the search bar thing.
Bookmark it. You should be bookmarking everything the Kindness Project related, shouldn't you?
No,
I think.
No.
Why not?
No.
I do.
Oh,
I love the Kindness Project. It's my little hobby. Okay,
you know my little hobby is my Wattpad account.
Or you can email us at
holla@thekindnessproject.co.uk.
Yeah, we've shelved our MySpace account. Actually, did you hear the other day? Every MySpace account got deleted. And nobody noticed, did they? Literally,
no.
Nobody cares about MySpace anymore.
I might create a MySpace account just for the laughs.
Go in and open I might ask Jeeves when I get home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just might do that. Anyway, on that particular pertinent note, should we get on with the show?
Oh, yes.
So, our interview this week is with two lovely people, Jo and Nick Cann. Now, Nick I've known for a few years because, as you know, I'm a financial planner as a day job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you know that?
Nah.
Yeah,
We're totally not sitting in your office right now.
I do a decent bit of financial planning. Nick used to be the head of an organisation called the Institute of Financial Planning until he had a stroke a few years ago. Why are you laughing?
Unfortunate circumstances.
You know what? But I tell you what, it's a really inspirational story because Nick lost. He was a professional speaker. He used to speak at a lot of events. Nick lost the power to speak. He couldn't speak at all because he just couldn't. He could remember the words, but he just couldn't get them out of his mouth. And that, for a man who spoke for a living, has got to be the toughest thing. But Nick and Jo, his wife, are real inspirational people because they don't even let that get them down. And they've raised over the past few years loads of money for stroke charities. They've raised awareness. I wanted to talk to them about their story, coping with having a stroke, and what do you do when, as a speaker, you lose your ability to speak? Would you like to hear the interview?
Oh, yes.
I can. Let me just test the mic. Good. What have you been up to today? Same here.
Yeah, they're have a good wedding.
Yeah. And what's the weather like where you are?
Awful.
Sunny.
You know what? It's been we had a little bit of snow over the weekend, but we were in Bath over the weekend.
Okay, yeah.
And actually,
On Facebook, I think, or somewhere.
yeah, and actually the snow settled, which my 7-year-old absolutely loved, which was good. Right, let me just get your questions up. Audio looks absolutely superb, so that's.
As long as my reception goes, because I'm on EE, but it seems okay at the moment, so that's fine.
Seems good. I mean, I don't know how more primitive we could go. We could get 2 tin cans, I suppose, Jo, and go down that route. But as long as the reception holds up, we should be okay.
Yeah, it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great stuff. Right. Okay. So let me just get your questions up. Right. Okay. Good stuff. Right. Right, okay, here we go. Right, so I'm just going to start with a hello, how are you, and then we can go from there. Hi Jo, hi Nick, how are you?
Yes, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming on the Kindness Project. We really appreciate it, and I know that our listeners are gonna really enjoy you telling us your story. So, just as a start, tell us a little bit about you.
Yes. Chief Executive, Financial Planning.
Yeah.
Financial Planning, yes, the 18,
Yep.
the years. Flemings, Barclays, good stuff. The Jo, her wife.
Yep.
Gemma, and Reese, and Beck, children.
Yep.
Labradors, 2. 4. They're goldfish.
Four goldfish as well. I am.
Goldfish.
Yeah. How old are the kids?
Oh, they're 24.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
21.
Okay. Fair enough. And how did you cope with I've got a teenager at the minute, Charlotte, who hosts the podcast with me. How did you cope with the teenage years?
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, well, Gemma, little.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
Beck and Reese, good fun.
Okay. Good stuff. And tell us a little bit about you, Jo.
Yeah, so, well, Nick and I have been married for 30, what is it? He's written it here, 35 years. Met at school. So, yeah, I've worked in financial services pretty much all my life. So,
Okay.
Moved to Sun Life in 1987, which has gone through its 4th acquisition, so I'm now Aviva.
Okay.
So I work as a program director for Aviva, so I can basically be deployed on any type of program. So at the moment I'm doing a digitisation program for our corporate business, which is around corporate employers, pensions and our sort of health clients.
Okay, fair enough. Tell me about the dogs, because we've got a dog and he's allowed on the sofa. And every person I ask has a different opinion on this. Some dogs are allowed on the sofa and some dogs certainly aren't. Are your dogs allowed on the sofa?
Yes.
They are. They're part of the family, right?
They're not allowed, exactly, they're not allowed upstairs.
Okay.
But they're allowed on the sofas, and they have a sofa for their own bed, that's what they have.
Fair enough. That makes sense. So I know that Nick, you went through a stroke situation a couple of years ago. But tell us your story and why you chose to support the Stroke Association in particular.
Yeah, they're 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They're a stroke advisor.
Yeah.
The stroke, well, brains, their heart, their stroke.
He had arrhythmia. So it sent a blood clot up to his brain.
So from the heart to the brain.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So strumeraising good. Primrose. Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you choose? Because I'd imagine there's a number of stroke charities, right? So what made you choose the Stroke Association particularly?
Well, one, the stroke group, the support.
Yeah.
Louisa Stones, the help, the good help.
Yeah, great stuff. And what do people get wrong about people who have suffered a stroke? What are the common misconceptions you sometimes face?
Well, young,
Yeah.
babies,
Yeah.
the 40, 50.
Yeah.
Work. Goodness me, me, speech, no speech.
Yeah.
The blood pressure.
Yeah.
People don't realise that high blood pressure could lead to a stroke.
Okay. And then the age thing, right? So people assume that strokes happen to older people, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Gotcha. So what?
There's a lot of, lots of cases. There's, it can happen. We know cases where it's happened in the womb. So you're carrying and babies have a stroke, and young children.
Really?
Any age. But yeah, when it happened, I never heard of a stroke. So I just, because I thought it is an old person's thing, and Nick was 50.
Yeah.
But I knew nothing about stroke at all at that point. Neither did Nick either.
Yeah. So I'd imagine it's been quite an educational process over the last 6 years, right? Learning about. Yeah. What's the most surprising thing you've learned?
I think actually, for me anyway, Nick and Molly's thinking is I found actually that you meet the people and there is really life after stroke, so we get on with stuff and initially you think, oh my goodness, life has ended, but actually then you start thinking, no, you can rebuild. If it's a physical disability, you can work around it. If it's speech, you can work on that to improve. So actually, it's about your mindset actually more than anything else.
The stories.
Yeah. And I know when I read a couple of articles to do the research that Nick, you went through is it aphasia, and how did that impact your day-to-day life and potentially still does?
Yeah, the communication, the problems.
Okay.
The speech, the apps, the practice process.
Yeah.
So aphasia, just to clarify, is because he knows what he wants to say, but the bit that's broken is the bit between what he wants to say and the bit in the brain that actually processes that. So,
Gotcha.
It slows down, and Nick's also got a bit of dyspraxia, which means sometimes he can struggle to form the word with his mouth.
Right.
But that's what aphasia is. So
Okay.
the bit of the brain that Nick was impacted by, because obviously there's all sorts of different parts of the brain.
Yeah.
The bit he had impacted was his speech bit of the brain, which is on the left side of the brain.
Okay. How does that, Joe? Just out of interest, Joe and Nick, how does that impact like your written cognition? So how's your writing, Nick? Is your writing fine and speaking to the challenge? Or?
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not. He can write words. Like he's written all of the answers to the questions here down.
Yeah.
He has to write with his left hand now as well because he can't use his right hand. So because it's on the right side, so he writes everything's with his left hand.
The numbers, prepositions, Yeah.
Yeah.
Little words.
Struggles with little words, yeah, like that sort of thing. But,
so everything all the connector words is the challenge, isn't it? Yeah, it's interesting. And I know you had some reading an article saying you had a bit of speech therapy after your stroke. Do you still do this? How much did it help? And what was the process of? Was it a matter of learning to speak again, or how did that work?
Yeah, the private.
Yeah, we went private because I wasn't very happy with what we were getting, really. And she was really helpful, and she pointed us to some really useful apps, and also there was a program, a bit of software that you could buy, which you could personalise for Nick. So what we did was he was learning things like walk the dog and swim in the pool, things like sort of really short stuff,
Yeah.
Dishwasher, just all normal everyday language. Yeah, it was. Dishwasher, washing machine.
Can I need to I need that just tells the dog to get off the sofa. Can I get one of them? I mean, I don't know if it will work, to be honest. And what was the app called?
Oh, there's a number of them actually.
Okay.
So the other one was steps, wasn't it? The one we used specifically. But Nick uses the tactus theory. So it was, what you could do is put all the pictures on, and then Nick could practice the pictures, so you could personalise what he was doing, and then we started to build sentences up over time that he was practicing. So it was called Steps actually. It was specifically written by somebody and you could put pictures of all our friends on there so that you could start.
So names could come up. That sounds good. And what the speech therapy has helped. What other factors do you think has helped you live a really meaningful life after a stroke, Nick?
Yeah, well, Jo and children.
Yeah.
And family.
Yeah.
Work colleagues.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Twitter. Actions.
Yeah.
They're confident.
Yeah.
Smiley. Confident and proud. Humour.
Yeah. So do you think? I mean, you talked about mindset earlier on, and I think you're right. I mean, the impression that I get is you're pretty positive people. How is that positive and sort of roll your sleeves up and get on with it mindset helped?
Yeah, well, a lot, because interestingly, when Nick came across somebody at a stroke group, I remember early on, who wouldn't go out of the house. He was a man, very negative as well, wasn't it? And I remember thinking at the time, gosh, if Nick was like that, I think, I'm not sure what I would do actually. Yeah. But because he was so positive, wanting to learn, obviously there was lots of setbacks, and he couldn't drive, he had to do his speech, couldn't work. He approached it all positively. Yeah. And didn't sort of, and wanted to go out and wanted to meet people and things, so that made it so much better. I'm not sure I would have coped very well if he'd been negative. Yeah,
absolutely. And what you talked about some of the challenges you've faced. I don't want to dwell on that, but talk to me about some of the things that you've had to change quite fundamentally about your lives.
Well, frustrating.
Yeah.
The walk of the dog. What's their thinking?
Yeah.
The positive.
Yeah.
The practice.
Yeah.
On and on and on.
Yeah. That was the interview. That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
There's the end. Oh, I've pinched you a bit, haven't I?
You've pinched my line.
Pinched your line.
I need a t-shirt with that printed on it.
Should we talk about merch?
Oh, I haven't updated it.
What do you mean?
I haven't done anything with it. It's just the same merch.
No, I know it's the same merch, but it's still available.
Yes,
it's still at www.thekindnessproject.co.uk/merch. And feel free to have a look. I mean, it's you've got a wide selection of
merch.
That you can have a look at. What is it?
Merch.
I reckon.
You want to go again? 3, 2, 1. Merch. No.
Merch.
Delayed reaction.
I reckon that at merch. I reckon that we should get a "'Tis the End" in big writing with a little kindness project.
Just a little picture of me like this.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Calm down with your picture of you. Can you remember what? Oh no, it is the end, but the end is never the end, is it?
You have to say that every time.
Because we have got last week's question of the podcast this week, and we had a lot of answers to the question: who is the world's greatest detective? So I'm going to start with Tamsin Caine, who said, Surely the world's greatest detective is Sherlock Holmes.
I'd say so.
Francis Barrett said, Basil the Great Mouse Detective. I forgot about Basil. Mark O'Halloran went for Harry Bosch. Kath Keyte went for Kay Scarpetta. Matthew Watts went for Sherlock Holmes / Hercule Poirot. In a battle of the detectives between Holmes and Poirot, who would win?
See, Poirot's my favourite, but Holmes would win.
Okay. Victor Sachs said, he's gone old school with this one, Columbo. Have you ever seen a Columbo detective show?
No.
You need to get a bit of Columbo in your life.
I've been trying to watch the revamped version of Magnum PI, but that's not getting me very far.
No, I was never a big Magnum PI fan. Tracey Kinchella said Margaret Rutherford is Miss Marple, so Miss Marple was her favourite. Miss Marple was Agatha Christie as well, wasn't she?
Yep.
Haidee Ball said Tom Thorne. John Cookie Cook, friend of the show, gets involved. Fictional, he's going to say Columbo. Instinctive, a master psychologist. Columbo used to do this thing where he used to let the protagonist think that they'd gotten away with it. And he used to walk in the room and go, oh, just one more thing, just one more, and then just blow the case wide open. It's amazing.
My God. Okay.
It's amazing.
I love Death in Paradise. I love the detectives from there, and they all do this thing where they gather them all in the room and they kind of pick people apart one by one until they're left with like the actual murderer. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, but that's an Agatha Christie thing, isn't it? Like Agatha Christie did that quite a lot. So John loves Columbo. Non-fictional. Apparently, he read a book called A Dangerous Place about the hunt for the railway killers in the mid-80s, and there was a psychologist named Professor David Cantor that deduced that the same people were responsible for 2 unlinked crimes. So that was interesting. Karina Marais said, obviously Sherlock, but an honourable mention to Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo-Doo?
That's what I was aiming for. Scooby-Doo. Rohan Sivajoti said Ace Ventura Pet Detective with an amazing gift, so thank you for that one. Then we had Inspector Clouseau as an option. We had a bunch of other options. Let me tell you what else we had. We had Inspector Clouseau. We had Miss Marple, Lauren Janus, who's been a guest on the show and friend of the show. Adam Carolan went for Frank Drebin from Police Squad. David
Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget was amazing. He was pretty incompetent though. Matt Walne's just gone,
Batman.
I was doing a proper Batman. You was doing like what was that Batman?
Female teenage Batman.
Alan Easter went for Inspector Frost. Sean Banks went for Luther. Mum, like Cassie, my wife, your mum would be really impressed with that.
Scooby Gang.
Rich Ellis didn't just go for Scooby-Doo. He went for all of the participants of Scooby-Doo.
The only one that's not in that picture
Daphne.
is not the dog. Is the dog.
I mean, we're not even going to get involved in the Scrappy-Doo conversation.
Oh God, not Scrappy-Doo.
Not Scrappy. Nadeem Afzal said Poirot. Alan Ahmed thought Batman, and Joseph Terry thought surely it's Lieutenant Frank Colombo. So loads of amazing answers there. Brilliant stuff. Thank you, Kindness Project listeners. And please write in with your stories of kindness, what you're up to at the minute, and answer more questions of the podcast.
Oh, yes.
And on that note, my friend, I'm going to say tatty bye.